Hello and welcome or welcome back. My name's Dina and I hope you will forgive me, but I cannot help myself. I need to do another post-election US presidential election check-in with the political climate and see a little bit more detail and information if we can. Any type of insight would be appreciated. I'm shuffling my mixed deck of Doubted Ching and Art of War, and out comes number 34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, it can, and it alone endures. It can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness, thus it is truly great. And so there's some type of divine intervention or divine plan, a divine construct behind the scenes, behind the veil. And I keep really getting pummeled with this information. Like, I got so mad at first, and it took me so many days to really work through all of the things. Even knowing what was going on, I was not appreciating everything as it developed. And I think that what we're being shown for some is that things have to be played out in a certain way so that we can understand after we look back why things couldn't have gone the other way. And what I've said previous to this is that, had Kamala Harris won, there would have been civil unrest, absolutely. Had the one side challenged the other, then there would have been civil unrest. But when we allow things to sort of play out and continue to work our strategies, overall, the end that develops is better for all involved. So we're being told to kind of trust the process and activate the goodness within us and the willpower to do what we need to do. For many, that's going to be speaking. For others, that's going to be keeping your peace and your calm and your center. For others still, it's going to be bridging different types of viewpoints or individuals, or reconciling something else, integration and reconciliation. So let's see. Oh, we have the number 1 as well. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The unnameable is the eternally real. Naming is the origin of all particular things. Free from desire, you realize the mystery. Caught in desire, you see only the manifestations. Yet mystery and manifestations arise from the same source. If source is called darkness, darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. Yeah, when we can move through the portal at the center of the heart space, energetically speaking, when we can kind of get that the ability to recreate the self, to be in this process of becoming. We're talking again about the unlearning and the awareness that there is a divine intelligence, and that we sometimes need to recognize that from darkness all things are created, it seems. And so every problem begets the solution. And I think I'm told to leave that there. On the back side here we have Sun Tzu said, "He will win who prepared himself, waits to take the enemy unprepared." So I think that my intuition continues to tell me that there's some type of a dual coup being going on behind the scenes, even on the political landscape. Like Trump had this big secret, and we're kind of seeing how that plays out as far as like the math isn't mathing, and all of a sudden he's picking all of these ridiculous people that are somehow compromised or putting them in the most counterintuitive, compromised positions. It's ludicrous the way that things are playing out. And so it's almost like the grand theater is this is like the bloopers reel for some of us. And can we allow ourselves to see some type of humor in the moment? Some of us are definitely not able to, because it's hard to take something quite so serious as something less so. It's like that scene that comes through sometimes, like Joker from Batman, and he's like, why so serious? It's like, why so serious? Because there's a psychopath in front of me. So yeah, it would be funny if we're sitting in our living room, but the when the script has been flipped, it's no longer so funny when reality TV stars come into our living room and tell us how to live. So yeah, I need to see here. What do we want to do first? What is actually also being played out here that I haven't already covered in previous forecasts, just for an overall theme? I do love this song. I hope you guys are appreciating the new ambiance, the new area. I don't know if I've recorded back here before, and I finally got some tunes going in the background. I believe this is Pachelbel, Canon in D minor. Is it not? It's one of my faves. It's a good one. All right, here we go. Endless opportunities. So check out all of these little bubbles. This is very Seven of Cups, having an abundant reality, endless opportunities for growth, expansion, and change. So here it's she's very much zeroed in, honing in her awareness on that singular little bullet of light here. And so she's activating something with the power of her mind, with the power of her psychic sensitivities, and she's making a choice. Put this over here. Well, I turned this way so that we could get a look. So hopefully we can, there. I don't know if you guys can see that. You might have to zero in. Underneath we have 55 unique gifts. If you're a starseed, you may want to check it out. I just did a little disclosure check-in. I'd like to start doing a little series on that. Let me know if that's something you're interested in by engaging with that video and that content, and I'll keep creating it then. So you've got these unique gifts, and I believe that what you're seeing is the different factors coming into play. This is giving me the Lego movie with the master builder, where it no longer is like, oh, I need this instruction booklet to show me how to create this thing. It's like you turn your attention to something, and all of a sudden it's broken down into its constituent parts, and then the vision can be realized in reverse construction order. And so if we want to see what we have ahead of us, then people can tell us their plans. But when the behavior starts to be self-evidencing of somebody's intentions, then it is still within the wheelhouse here for us to clue into a different opportunity to affect change. And so people are being really asked on a different level to understand the depths of their suffering. Even those that are winning right now, supposedly, are suffering. They are still not really happy. They're very spiteful and pointing, and very combative in their win. They are the sorest winners I may have ever seen. And it's so curious that I think that this is also part of our collective medicine right now, that we have to take a bit of the snake anti-venom in order to recognize and heal within. And so part of our unique gift is to understand our capacity to take action and to make a shift. Anything else here that we are being shown to help us trust in the moment? We'll go with that. Underneath here we have 19 balanced forces. Definitely need to shine forth your light to allow yourself to stay centered and proactive and something about the momentum, the motivation, and being able to stay inspired to be creative and to use things such as your love capacity, forgiveness capacity, your ability to witness whenever you have screwed up before, how that feels and what helps and what doesn't help. And also your capacity here to see both sides of an argument. I tried to bring this up the other day, and I keep, as they say, pussyfooting around what I want to say. And there is a kernel of truth in a lot of the conspiracies. And we can even look at our ability to be like, we see the folks that are so-called woke saying that they agree that they can be star seeds and everything. But then we've got this other side talking about how conspiracies are the truth, and these guys that believe they could be a star seed coming back and telling them that conspiracies and if it's not widely talked about, then it's instantly debunked. That's just one thing that I'm using as an example. I'm not saying either place is true or authentic. What I'm saying is that we seem to be pointing the fingers at each other. Like the thing I've noticed online is that you might not instantaneously understand when somebody is actually talking in a loving manner about who they support. If you remove the key words, the sentiments are like two people looking in a mirror at each other with the same type. In a way, I wish I edited all of a sudden because I've got all these tangents, but I trust the way that this is going right now. We also have 13 air, paradigm shift. In order, look at all those eyeballs on the wings here. In order for us to come together in some type of a unified front here to serve the next leg of the ascension journey, we need to shift the wind below our sails, and we need to somehow come towards the center. Furred and Feathered Friends 27. Oh, this is my new deck. This is the first time I've seen this. Beautiful. And you see that celestial being in the center? And even it's no mystery. There's like the eagle on the top, and this is showing up in this reading about the U.S. political climate for a reason. Because of what we're just talking about, we need to understand that there's room for everybody on, let's even use the metaphor on Noah's Ark, or enough space at the inn instead of making so-called little baby Jesus go out and be born in the manger with the animals. And so sometimes the universe does have to humble us by immersing us in the void, in the darkness, in the darkness within the darkness, at the center of the dark night of the collective soul, to witness and to awaken to our own transgressions. And that's, I believe, what we're being taught in the beginning. Communication, co-creation, number 21. Look at that, beautiful, holding space for what unites us across the sisterhood, brotherhood, whatever you want to call it, the collective in general. Throat chakra, express your truth. The fifth chakra. It is number 7 here. We've got this Merkaba field too here, that we create the life and the beingness that we choose for through the vibrational thoughts, feelings, resonance, our beliefs, and then our creation capacity. And right now we're being challenged to move beyond the mind. And it came through in the earlier reading about the glass ceiling above the head space of all humans that has been placed upon right now, seemingly the feminine, but upon all. But it's only limiting everybody, right? If we limit any, then we limit the all. When we embrace and release and free all, then each is released. I mean, that seems a little bit, it's just a random channeling here, but it seems like you guys can understand where we're trying to speak that into beingness here. You can see again her breath, her very breath in the crown coming in is the breath that courses through her and emits into her space. So wherever you're setting up your sacred space to transcend and quiet the so-called monkey mind, ego, centricity type narratives where we're very self-oriented instead of the self-ist that recognizes that we are all one. And that's where the golden rule, when it gets simplified and truncated into just do unto others as you would have done to you, and then you can take that further and add with harm to none. And that's where everything starts to come together in the gray space of the Tao, where darkness within darkness. It's like the need within the pacifists here, and the overly submissive self to stand on business as a star seed elemental coming out. Incredible, right? To channel our divine energy and essence into this world here, to escape and to then use that belief structure and to breathe it into this world, to breathe life into the world. So I wanted to get this with the political situation coming out, so I'm going to choose these 2 decks here. And so all of this is at play, and how to awaken us has been the great thing, because we've been invited over and over again by the universe to awaken in gentle ways. And it's been a counter movement of the matrix that is also serving the light and the darkness all together in this co-creatrix. It's been creating diversions and distractions for those that were not ready to wake up, but then it's also creating triggers and inspiration. Triggers and inspiration are 2 sides of one coin to awaken us, and they come from different spaces. We can be triggered towards light or dark, but it's all in how we alchemize the perception of that experience, that neutral experience perhaps, into what do we create, what do we believe, and we're breathing that life in right now. So anyways, 7 of boons. Look at all of those doorways here. So I believe that this is operations behind closed doors. Let's get into the message. Let's look into the cabinet at that. And here we have the Ace of Challenges, this Ace of Swords energy with the Messenger of Air, bringing truth, clarity, and justice. It's still up in the air. It's like the arrow went awry. It was intercepted by the bird. Something about the satellites. Interception. Yes, we have 7 of spells and 9 of challenges coming out right here. So that's 7 of wands, defensiveness, and somebody having the higher ground while the masses come forward towards this dragon energy. So it's kind of like all these little trolls are trying to put this mighty dragon in its place. And the dragon, understanding that it could breathe fire on these people and diminish them, has just tried to back up and back up. But there comes a time where you don't need to breathe that fire into their faces. You can breathe it into the air with truth and clarity here. And others will behold the resonance and coherence that their soul has with the truth that you speak when you speak it in the way of the breath of the divine speaking through you. You will stand on business. Truth is the lotus that can bloom in adversity, type of a thing, right? 9 of challenges. It looks like you've been trying to hide out. You feel fearful of what's to come. You're uncertain about the individuals that surround you, the environments, and the potential for this evil to be in your friends, neighbors, family, and all of these things, and wondering if the universe itself is an evil and vengeful god or goddess energy here. Yeah, 2 sevens though coming out. Sevens are my number of divine intervention and assistance from the divine. And it's what we're talking about at the beginning. Please don't lose the plot of understanding and having trust and faith that everything is trying its hardest to work out for the best. Here under the deck, we have the bird with the quill. That's anomalous here of that ace of challenges that showed up a moment ago. And this here, this elder, this crone energy showed itself in the daily dharma today as the divine mother. She's creating this magical concoction, this alchemical mixture in the cauldron, which the cauldron is that zero space, the divine co-creatrix matrix. And here we are possibly serving this divine operation and getting our messages. And there's this behind the scenes mixture of perfect combination of elements that create the perfect spell, so to speak. And in order to dispel any type of brainwashing or mass hypnosis or cult mentality, even the cult behind the culture, and those structures and foundations that uphold the masking veils of our true divine birthright and way forward, are finally being challenged. But you are going to probably be more surprised. I think that there will be some evidence of differing things on both sides, but I do believe that we're going to be seeing some people brought into the open here. So we've got these 7. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing that's 3 sevens. No, okay, the 1 is a 9. So the 7 of boons and the 7 of spells. So yeah, there's a lot of anxiety and overthinking here, feeling defensive and getting after each other. But we have more opportunities and options than we might realize. And so self-destructing and pointing fingers at each other is a waste of our energy at this point. We need to direct it towards the appropriate outlets. Here we have the Council of Animals. Oh my God. Oh my goddess. Look at these two. That's going to be the thumbnail, folks. Jeez. Furred and feather friends. Yes, it doesn't matter what type of intervention is coming to the fore. We are being told that we're also having this heart space upliftment. This is the 20 card, the Council of Animals. And the Council of Animals is standing on the Judgment card in this deck, which I couldn't remember the name of it. It's called the Forest of Enchantment, for those who care. Under the deck is Seeker of Visions, and we did have the 3 of Boons come out. So we're being asked to create the vibrational breath work here in the moment, to create our own dispelling spells, to Oh, there's something about the Harry Potter thing. So much of the spell work in there was, it had roots in multi-dimensionality, but there was this thing where somebody could appear in a certain way, and then they had this other counter spell that would show the person. Um, anyway, some of you will know it. It doesn't matter. But it's like, in order for us to do that, we have to live in the right way. We have to be of the right capacity, to question ourselves as well without blame. So we're being asked to come back into the poetry and artistry of our hearts. What do you have to say about the cabinet picks? Perhaps this is the wrong deck. I've got this Weaver of Boons. Maybe not. Okay, so here I'm getting in the moment. This is usually one of my positive cards, but it kind of is also giving me that pleasant looking witch with Hansel and Gretel, inviting them into her cottage, and to unveil the mystery of who has invited us in. I shared something earlier about the skinny white woman. If you're into that, check it out. It's on the community page. But it's like, this woman here, this young girl, is seeing her treasure roll into the swamp and move into the domain of this frog, and this frog keeps showing up. And I do believe it has to do with something to do with like reptilian and amphibious type of metaphorical energy. They also have their good mojo, but slippery, and so on. Coming up as Trump, having this false victory where the ring gets bestowed to the false frog prince, which I don't know the frog prince story. We have two of visions under the deck. The sisterhood energy has been called forth prior to the election. The woman vote and the young vote was out en masse, as well as so many other sects and segments of the population, in the power of community and love and trust. And here we have, it does not look like we're talking about this cabinet very much at all. I'm going to put these to the side. It looks like we're trying to read the signs here. And also we've got Child of Spells. Yes, it's like he's shaking that stick, that magical wand, over the rabbit to see if it will transfigure or shift into something. And then we have this Lovers card next. We also have this Crying Masculine, again with the Hansel and Gretel. Do you see this developing? The children are being abandoned by his choice at the opening to the enchanted forest, left to their devices as he cries and runs away. So there's this abandonment by the patriarchy and being left to the wolves, which comes up in a moment. So first it appears she finds the passion flower. She finds her own resilience in the center of her darkness here, and she brings her torch. There's a clever fox in the background aligning with her energetically here, and she's able to commune with her forest creatures. So this is like the two children made one in the maiden here. And here the wolves come to her very door. She thought she would have been saved, but here she is up in a tree like a raccoon. Raccoon energy may be significant. That's the Six of Challenges, Six of Swords, the need for healing. And so this elevated perspective over the powers that be. So it's like this cabinet here is coming in, threatening so many particular individuals and collectives and segments of our population. It is truly unjust, unconstitutional, and unfathomable, which is the perfect antidote to awaken en masse, the collective that thought it's not going to be so bad. He doesn't have anything to do with Project 2025. Oh, he's not really a bad guy. And the appointments, I'm not going to go into them very clearly, it seems. So we've got this seeker of boons. I think that's understanding, seeking for clues. I feel like this is also not only us feeling in the tree, but also Kamala in the tree here, overlooking and then coming out, having understood, having this transformation in the dark night of the soul, where she's understanding perhaps what is going on. I just heard a bird run into the window on the back of the house, very lightly, but definitely. Interestingly enough, right? So that glass ceiling, again, surpassing the boundaries, or somebody's running into a wall. They thought there was an opening, but they're being rejected. His thoughts getting all dappered up, trying to imagine himself winning. But there's a change on the horizon. See the feminine above perspective here, looking over the giraffes and their migration. It's like showing her this is the way that we should take our flight plan, go this way. The fairy magic is showing her through the enchanted forest back to the clues. It's showing her, the will-o'-the-wisps are showing her the way to connect the dots. So we're running out of time here. His thoughts also, success in love, perhaps. So he feels like, yeah, the true narcissist. And I think we're going to just get a couple more cards so that we can get them out, because I'm going to be cut off here in a moment. What else can you tell us about the Trump supposed win? We have military person. This keeps coming through. And the rich gentleman. I took that as Trump before, especially because of the blonde hair, but it's appearing as Elon Musk right now, and his meeting with the foreign powers that be, playing chess. He's in over his head. He's about to go to court, but he thinks that he is safe. He doesn't have this same immunity that the other people may have in this case. Here we have this high honors ceremony coming in, with also a good gentleman coming in. What can you tell us about this? We have another court person stepping forward. There's some interesting characters in the cast here, some justice appointments, as well as I'm seeing, look at the monkey face. That one reminds me of what's his name, Gates, that gag guy that's in there. Ooh, look at that one. There may be some dashed expectations with this transformative energy of bereavement, which talks about some type of thing coming to a definitive and full stop ending. And here we have a little child. So I'm not sure how the child is going to factor in at this point. I think that underage information coming out about Gates, individuals trafficking, perhaps gaining money from foreign interests, Elon going out and doing his money grifting and whatnot, living room. Didn't we say living room earlier? So what is going on? Somebody's having